What happens when your definition of independence begins to look a lot like abandonment? Before we begin, let me know in the comments. Have you ever confused personal freedom with emotional neglect? What lessons can you take from this story? The rain pattered gently on the roof of Mira Lawson's childhood bedroom, the very place she never expected to return to at 26. Not like this. Not after everything she had once felt so certain about her life. Mira and her husband, Darren, had been together for 5 years, married for 2. They met in university, a passionate whirlwind of late-night talks, shared activism and magnetic chemistry. Darren was the steady calm to her firestorm. While she thrived in vibrant conversations about women's rights and social equity, he offered quiet support, always encouraging her to speak louder, fight harder. When they got engaged, they agreed on a structure they both felt comfortable with. Darren would manage the financial weight, working full-time in IT while Mira stayed home. She wasn't a fan of chores, but the trade-off meant she could pursue her advocacy work, explore creative outlets, and avoid the grind of a traditional job. Felt progressive. Felt right. Least at first. Darren never hesitated to pick up dinner, surprise her with weekend getaways, or send her voice notes in the middle of the day just to say he missed her. Their connection was deep, soul deep, Mira once believed. But slowly, her appreciation faded. She started treating his stability as boring, predictable. While he was reading political nonfiction or organizing their finances, she was out with her friends, glammed up, chasing nightlife, laughter, the electric buzz of dance floors and rooftop bars. She told herself she deserved it, that this was what liberation looked like. Darren never stopped her, but she could see it in his eyes, the way they dimmed each time she returned at 2 a.m., smelling like club fog and glitter. He'd wait up, then pretend to sleep. When he tried to speak, she shut him down, accusing him of being controlling or insecure. Sometimes she weaponized her feminism, calling him patriarchal if he dared question her choices. But those weren't principles, those were shields. Excuses to avoid looking at the pain she was causing. It all came to a head one evening. They had planned a quiet dinner together, something rare in recent months. But when her friends invited her out for a club night, she bailed on Darren without hesitation. He said little, just quietly asked if she might consider wearing something a little less revealing, a simple red dress that clung to every curve. "You think being married means I need to dress like a nun?" she snapped. "No," he said gently, "but I miss feeling like your husband." She stormed out, slamming the door, leaving him behind, hurt, unseen. That night, she came home to an empty apartment. No Darren. When he returned the next morning, he wasn't yelling. He wasn't crying. He was distant. A version of Darren she had never seen before. He made coffee, folded laundry, and then casually mentioned they might need to renew the apartment lease instead of buying a house like they'd planned. Mira was stunned. "What do you mean? What happened to the house?" "Plans change," was all he said. Then came the ultimatum. He told her, without anger, without shouting, that things needed to change. That if she valued equality and independence, she needed to contribute. Financially, emotionally, practically. That he was done being the sole provider while being disrespected and overlooked. He wasn't asking. He was setting a boundary. Shook her. This wasn't the soft-spoken man she married. This was someone who had been broken too many times and had finally chosen to stop bleeding for someone who couldn't see him. Reluctantly, Mira got a job at a local restaurant through one of Darren's contacts. She hated it. The hours were long, the work thankless, and her pride shriveled every time she clocked in. She resented Darren for making her do this, blaming him for her unhappiness, still refusing to admit her own part. Their arguments worsened. She weaponized shame and mockery, called him controlling, claimed he was trying to change her. But he didn't bite anymore. He just got quieter. And so, she sought validation elsewhere. Little flirtations on nights out, lingering touches from strangers, private messages she told herself were harmless. She was craving attention, maybe even revenge. Then someone told Darren. She still doesn't know who. Maybe a friend tired of watching her spiral. Maybe someone who simply cared more for the truth than her comfort. When Darren confronted her, she denied everything at first. Claimed it was innocent. Blamed him for not making her feel wanted. But the truth had already reached him, and he was done. "I want a divorce," he said with heartbreaking calm. "And I've been thinking about it for a while. You just gave me the final reason." He didn't shout. He didn't beg. He just asked her to leave. Now, back in her parents' house, Mira is trying to piece together a life she broke with her own hands. Her parents are disappointed, her resume is weak, and her ego is bruised. She got almost nothing in the divorce. No alimony, no assets. Just the hollow echo of mistakes. She's trying to find work, trying to contribute at home, trying to fix her image of herself as the victim, when in truth, she played the villain in her own love story. She writes this now, not for pity, but in hope that someone somewhere will learn what she didn't, until it was far too late. So let me ask you this. Have you ever mistaken emotional distance for freedom? And by the time you realized, was it already too late? Let me know in the comments below what resonated with you, and what lessons you're taking away. And if this story made you reflect even a little, give it a like and subscribe. More real-life lessons are coming your way.